are live. Apollo, Keane must be looking for some level of revenge here after that game number 1. He started off with that aggression, but I have to say JonnyREcco handled it quite nicely. Let's introduce our players here on the east side of the map as the Red Terran. From Team MVP, it is Keane. And one of the newest players on Team Dignitas as the Blue Zerg. Give it up for JonnyREcco.
Woo, yeah. That was people giving it up for JonnyREcco there, DJ Wheat.
Yeah.
As we go into Antigua Shipyard, another map where mistakes from the Zerg player cannot be made. It's as simple as that, because if they do, that's where Keane is able to establish the center ground. He is able to take a 4th base and start dropping and denying the later expansions. But the way that JonnyREcco's been playing this out, he's made 0 mistakes, and if he continues on that road, then this could be another victory for him. But he is going up against a very experienced Codes level of Terran play here.
You know, as we start, actually, one of the things I really felt was one of the smartest decisions that I saw JonnyREcco make in that last game is that, frankly, instead of going for that 4th in the position that's right next to the 3rd, he went with the one that was more pocketed, the one just south of the natural or of the main. And I really felt like that decision alone helped him out tremendously in that game, because you remember just how much emphasis Keane put on positioning his army in a location where he was going to be able to attack that, only to move in and find out that there was nothing there. And little decisions like that, little quick decisions, I think definitely kind of show the type of player that we're dealing with here. You're right, though, man. Keane is not a pushover, and you do allow him to give a little bit of room to maneuver, to fight, and I feel like you're going to be up against some really, really nasty stuff.
And it looks like Keane's actually going for a refinery early on here. And, you know, the option most likely is just going to be a older style of reactor Hellion expansion play. It can, of course, be a tech lab or anything on that on the barracks, but most likely it's just going to be this older school of build. JonnyREcco did send out a drone to scout with and had seen it nice and early on. And upon seeing that, is probably feeling rather comfortable. He may not even take gas. Usually, the older response was be like, oh, Hellions are coming. Time to get gas, time to get speedlings. But nowadays, it's just like, well, I'll just get my queens again.
Yeah, and you know how much Terrans love them queens. A whole lot, but not really that much. And I mean, how late will he go with the gas? It's one thing we're going to have to see. I mean, he did scout with the drone. He double-checked just to make sure it wouldn't be anything crazy, and he just saw the Marines come out. Now we do see that factory going down, the barracks, assuming it's going to build a reactor, and there it is at the front. So, as you mentioned, you pretty much called it. Keane now starting to bank a little bit of gas there. No command center going down quite yet. But no gas either for JonnyREcco, so he's going to be in a position where he's definitely going to have to defend against that initial set. But, I mean, defense on Antigua Shipyard, it's actually, you know, a few months ago it may have been a little bit tougher, but I feel like most Zergs have kind of gotten it down to a science.
I mean, the one thing is that if you look at the natural of the Zerg play, there's a big area for Hellions to run by. There's no creep as well, unless JonnyREcco spends a creep tumor early on. That would be impressive, actually, if he didn't hit a lava inject and just went creep tumor initially, because that's what Keane is basically relying on here. And, you know, this could do a lot of damage if he gets in the right positions. I expect Keane to, of course, expand, but even double expand behind this, get a 3rd command center in his main, because he's actually taken quite an economy hit to do damage early on. And the way that it happened in the first game, he didn't get those results. Is he going to get them here?
Well, he tried to maybe see if he was going to be able to run by here, and the 2 Marines stopped him short. Had he actually gotten through, the 2 Hellions would have cleaned him up, no problem, and he would have seen the Hellions. So wise by Keane to actually rally those back inside the main base. Now throwing down a tech lab here onto his racks, waiting for a few more Hellions to go out, but there's just the 2 queens and the 1 spine crawler here. No 3rd queen, actually 4th queen is already out at the main. So with the extractor down, we are going to be seeing speed come up here next, but no 3rd base as of yet. And here come those Hellions going around the Xel'Naga Towers, so this will be a bit of a surprise.
I'm loving what we're seeing from JonnyREcco. He is sending in an overlord to scout out the follow-up. He sees, okay, normal, just stim going down. But look at the creep spread. I'm so happy he decided to creep spread, because that's exactly what's needed, even connecting main to natural. And it is good to creep spread, but look at, oh my god, even the queen.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, so good. Deflecting the Hellions as well. Oh, he almost gets a surround on them, but it is taking drone losses. So to be honest, even though this looked beautiful, he took damage. This is 7, 9, 10 drone kills That's a lot from Keane.
Wow, that actually was a lot more than I thought there were in terms of drone kills, but when you look at the income tab, you can see they're even too at 26 apiece, and the spread looked to be pretty nice, but you know, I love the queen block on top of the ramp, Apollo. Unfortunately, maybe having that spine crawler back a little bit at the start would have helped out, but he did defend it. You know, there could be a potential for a follow-up attack coming out here, as we do have the roaches on their way, though, so it'd have to happen before then. I just don't think that is going to be the case.
JonnyREcco has not researched Zergling speed in this game. He's just gone straight for roaches here, which is very interesting. Of course, roaches can't really do anything with a tech lab on a barracks and stim on the way, so they're only defensive roaches. And the Hellions make their way in past the roaches, and they're going to hit the drone line again. This is what we talked about, Keane's sense to get to those drones.
Oh, yeah, and he is going to get a couple of nice blasts there before the first Hellion even goes down. The roaches did come in for the interception, but two are still going to make their way in. And look at that, it's not going to matter. The Queen takes out the last one, and one Hellion by itself, unfortunately, just not as deadly as Terran hopes or wished it was. And now there's basically a surplus of roaches now for JonnyREcco. He really is going to kind of be needing that third base up pretty soon, as we already have the third command center going down for Keane.
And these roaches won't do anything if that bunker completes, that's for sure. There's 8 roaches coming across. Marines have stim. A tank is almost out as well, which will provide the DPS. He may kill a couple of SCVs, but behind it, as you said, JonnyREcco has to expand, but he's looking to do damage because he knows one of the follow-ups of this is a triple command center, which we're seeing. So that's what he's aiming to do here, to try to bring this back. Gets one SCV, but the SCV sees them coming here. The supply depot wall-off is complete and the bunker's down. He won't get anything done here.
Yeah, I don't think so either. In fact, well, as that first siege tank hits, unsieged, he's like, nah, nope, not going to do it. And he already has the drone at the third Apollo, so he's kind of prepared for that. Unfortunately, he did build all those roaches anyway, so it puts him behind just a little bit. Going for the melee carapace upgrade right now. Over on the other side, continual production of Marines, more tanks on their way, and we've also got the starport starting to come. We already have the stim finish, and now the combat shield is on its way for Keane. One thing Keane currently missing is upgrades, but there is a double NG bay going up inside the main.
Yeah, I mean, he sacrificed a lot of early gas for Hellions, or to get the factory up for Hellions into tanks to defend, stim. So he's basically just delayed the upgrades. But one thing with delaying upgrades is he actually has a strong army right now. You know, 3 tanks, a bunch of Marines, and especially if he knows that JonnyREcco's playing from behind, who absolutely will be wanting a drone. He's only at 50 right now. So this push out is very intelligent here from Keane.
Yeah, he could do some big damage. The Baneling Nest just went down and just got started. We do have a Link coming in here. He's going to... No, he's not. There's one Marine left up, so that means the third base is going to go down. Third base for JonnyREcco is about to finish up, but it's basically just Banelings and Roaches here. And let me tell you what, these Banelings are going to have to be just immaculate. He's going for the back wall here. Unsieged tanks. And he may have to attack before these tanks go on, but really he can't use those Banelings off a creep. It would be a nightmare.
If he returns back now, I'm going to get up and dance with no webcam on, so I don't care. And I think that's what he's going to do. What's he going to do? Right, okay, he's going to siege up tanks. So he's going to siege up tanks, but think about it. Banelings without speed, are they really going to get to the Banelings, to the Marines in time?
Oh my God, well those two just did, and a huge amount of the Marines were taken out. And there we have JonnyREcco coming in from the back too, and he's going to completely crush this. May have lost a few drones here at the third, but great positioning comes into his favor.
You know, the main as well.
Oh, the drop in the main. How actually it looks like he did manage to get a lot of the drones out there, but 19 drones have been killed here by Keane, and more are going down. There's a Baneling hit, a second one coming in. He's trying to get rid of that medevac as well, and Keane actually kind of makes up for the fact that he lost that whole army by getting a nice set of drone kills there.
To be honest, I still kind of stand by that statement. I wish he would have gone back after doing that, because what was he really going to achieve there? The army was there, built. JonnyREcco, you know, wasn't not going to build an army to deal with that. So he should have killed the rocks, or just left the rocks at halfway and then returned back. There's no creep, there's no speed for the Lings, or there wasn't at the time, and there was no Baneling speed. So I think he could have easily escaped there and could have returned back with probably the same damage dealt, but without losing that army, and then combine it with the drop. Is JonnyREcco going to chase an army across the map when he's being dropped in the main?
Yeah.
don't think so. I think that would have been the better option there for Keane to get more value out of what he did. He did do damage though, of course. He prevented drones from being made. JonnyREcco was at 50 drones for a very long time, which has slowed his economy down, while Keane's been able to set him up. So even though it was not maximized in terms of value, it was still a good attack.
And Keane is setting himself up for the long game as he throws down that 4th command center. And based off his composition, that 4th command center could very easily go here to the middle as he tries to take over that position. But a lot of that will come down to timing. We see these rocks at the 4th being worked on by JonnyREcco as well, so he can expand over to that side. It looks like another medevac is traversing the east side of the base, going down to the southeast corner, then will make its way around. There is one Overlord if it decides to hug the very edge of the wall that will give a quick indication from his opponent that this is coming, but it looks like he's going to be just outside of vision of that medevac. He might get a blip of it on his radar, and there it is, but the army of JonnyREcco is pretty far away.
Yeah, and Festus is so far away to actually deal with it as well, so it's not like he can prevent the medevac from leaving. So he drops there, but he's also looking to drop this potential 4th base on the left-hand side. If he drops on it and stims, he will kill that hatchery, and without fungals and infestors, he will be able to get out wherever he chooses.
And actually, he looked like he was going to go into the main, but he turns around, goes back to that 4th, and he will go ahead and try to get a cancellation on that. And it's going to be, probably going to happen. Well, maybe not.
No, we need to focus the hatchery, Stim, and focus the hatchery.
There he goes. There's the cancellation. Wow.
Yeah, that could have been nasty, but right now, JonnyREcco, we talked about it at the start of the series, we talked about it at the start of the broadcast, playing mistakes on Antigua Shipyard will allow Keane to take the middle, as we're seeing now. Is JonnyREcco going to allow him to? The planetary fortress on its way, the tanks are on siege. JonnyREcco's going to go, but can he go and can he hit? He cannot, as the tanks siege up, and that planetary fortress will get established. And it looks like at the same time, Keane is going to drop that 3rd again. It does get dropped, or cleaned up, should I say, by a Queen. But now the 3rd is up, and that tank line is deep.
Oh, yeah, very, very deep. And that's kind of the scary thing, not wanting to get that up. You know, he had the ground army to do it. He just didn't have the supporting cast. He didn't have the banelings. The infestors weren't out quite yet. He's trying to get this 4th base up now, but the creep is being cleared away as well. But I think establishing that 4th base with the planetary is a really, really scary thing on this map. And Keane is starting to move closer and closer towards the territory of JonnyREcco.
And look how far away any hive units are really for JonnyREcco. He's got the Spire coming down. He hasn't gone for the Ultralisk Cavern, and he's gone for a late Spire. Look, the Spire should have already been a greater Spire by now. Mistakes are happening here by JonnyREcco, and he's feeling the pressure. Is he going to lose his base on the left-hand side? It doesn't look like it, despite the Marines being there, but he can easily pick up and drop in the main before the Infestors come, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to. It looks like Keane's setting up a more aggressive tank line here as he barrels down.
Oh, he's got to go in while the tanks are unsieged, but he doesn't get an opportunity to do so. The Infestor's just not quite in the right position, and that's what he's looking for, that opportunity where he's going to get a free ride on the tanks. But this 4th base now has a Terran army between it and the rest of the Zerg, and that is going to be hard to penetrate right there. He's not going to be able to get that 3rd up. He has to cancel it yet again, and these Marines continue to just get rid of all the creep that is giving JonnyREcco any advantage. And there's the unsiege in the middle. He would have seen it on the creep, but he just can't attack quite yet.
Yeah, he's going to go around the right flank, get rid of the creep, and try to attack that 3rd base or something. So right now, though, he's going to get there's a couple of Marines while the tanks are on siege. They do not have +1. A mistake there from Keane, but a lot of damage dealt there to those running links. Even a drop in the main base once again, DJ Wee.
Yeah, drops all over the place. Keane is really being active. It is cleaned up here by JonnyREcco, but now the back is open up. The Infestors get it, or the Infestors throw down some great fungals here. But where's the army to be able to help out with this? He does get a lot of the Marines, but there is a ton of tanks back here sieging up, and this is not pretty. What is the Zerg player going to do?
Is he going to counterattack? Is he going to wait till they unsiege? I don't know. What is JonnyREcco going to do? He's trying to think of options in the middle. Oh, what a great scan in the middle by Keane, saying, wait a minute, where's your army? Is it waiting for me in the middle? Oh, I guess it is. And scans and nails that. Amazing little scan there by Keane, who won't cross the halfway line. Will just sit by his planetary fortress, and that 3rd hatchery goes down, and even a drop on the right-hand side with these 2-2 Marines. Very weird that he doesn't have 3-3. I have no idea why he doesn't, but I mean, mistakes are being left and right here. A pressure-filled game.
A pressure-filled game indeed, but I still feel like Keane is sitting in a very good position. Right now, it looks like it's so difficult for JonnyREcco not only to get that next base up, but to keep that third up. There was nothing he could do, and now we have this hatchery up and going, but it can easily be assaulted here. And again, Ling's run into a brick wall of tanks and Marines, and if these guys siege up over here, there's not going to be enough Broodlords quite yet. I think, I mean, it's all going to come down to the Infestors and how they play into this battle, I feel like.
Vikings now are 4 out with 2 extra starports down. King kills the third base and will now kill the fourth, or the third, I suppose, now on the right-hand side. JonnyREcco is left with his main and natural, which are both pretty much mined out. The Viking count should continue to rise. Currently, though, Keane is maxed out, so he needs to kind of get rid of some units in the middle here, whether it be a drop, whether it just sends some down to start that Viking production. That's the only thing that could lose him the game. And it looks like he's actually going to drop tanks in the main base here and then siege up underneath a really, really solid position.
And he's going to do exactly that. Are the Corruptors there to move into position? The Broodlord's actually coming over. There's the Corruptors. He is going to siege up, but the Broodlord should be able to take that out no problem. In fact, they are not going to get anything, and suddenly this army has to rethink its position. Not in the greatest spot to actually attack right here. The Marines not able to reach those Broodlords, but the Broodlords can reach them. The Viking count not high enough because there are a ton of Infestors out right now. And I'm not sure that Keane should have picked this position to attack.
Yeah, I mean, Keane, it doesn't really matter too much because there's so many Vikings being made behind. And like I said, he needed to lose some units, right? So he got rid of a couple of units there by doing damage at the same time. Now that 6 Vikings per cycle are coming out, that's a lot. And he has a 5th base in the top left too. And there's only 3 Corruptors protecting the Broodlords here.
We've got a drop at the third of JonnyREcco. He's going to kill the drone that's coming over. Oh, all these drones! There's the stim forward, and there's also an engagement in the middle as well as the Broodlord's trying to move forward, but the Vikings coming out in great numbers, as you mentioned, and unfortunately there's just not really a position where JonnyREcco can move forward. He wants to take his Lings into the battle, but he just can't yet. All the Vikings have been eliminated, but here comes the next set, Apollo.
Yeah, the next set they're going to top the tide. As long as he spreads them out, he keeps getting clumped up fungals. Even with his Marines during the game, he's clumping up his Vikings too, and that is helping out JonnyREcco a lot here. But at the end of the day, there's just not enough anti-air here, and the Broodlords are starting to be targeted down. And if the Broodlords go down, DJ Weed, off 2 bases that aren't mining, what are you going to do? And
well, here comes a ton of Lings. There are 3 Broodlords remaining, no Queens to help on the transfusions, and he is going to go ahead and clean that up. But with the help of the Planetary Fortress, these Marines able to stop from the back. No more fungals, so these Vikings will shoot down the last of the Broodlords, and they do manage to ward off the Vikings with these infested Terrans, but it's not looking good for JonnyREcco right now.
I can't believe JonnyREcco's still in this game despite being down and out for so long. Good game,